So today's video is a viewer request. Actually, today's video and the next one. This is going to be a two-part series that was prompted by some questions and requests that viewers made on my YouTube channel. One viewer said, "Renee, I love your kitchen. I know you cook all the time. I know you're super organized. I would love to see inside your kitchen cabinets. Show me what's in your drawers. Explain to me how you decide what goes where so that you can find everything. Everything is within reach. Everything is organized. Show me around your kitchen. Give me a peek inside all the things." And I said, okay. So today I'm going to show you inside every cabinet and drawer in my kitchen and explain to you why I have things where they are and the tools and tricks and tips and things that I use to keep my kitchen organized. You all know that I love to cook. I cook about 5 nights a week, and so everything needs to be easily accessible at my fingertips. It needs to be easy to find, clean. I cannot stand a messy and cluttered kitchen, so that's what today's video is all about. Before we get started, I do want to tell you, this is a typical Thursday around here. I did not go through and straighten up my cabinets. I did not organize my drawers. I'm going to show you what my kitchen looks like always, every day. This is real life. I live here. I cook here. I eat here. So things might be a little messy. I know on social media, people always want to show perfection, everything at its best, at the highest standard. I'm just showing you what it looks like on an everyday basis. And then later on in the video, I will tell you what part 2 of this series is going to be about. Again, a viewer request, super interesting topic, and it kind of follows along with this organizational home theme, and it's going to be a really fun one. But let's get to the kitchen first. So I'm standing in the middle of my kitchen. You can see that I have your typical triangle shape. The sink, the stove, the refrigerator is here, and I do have a second vegetable sink, which, by the way, if you ever have the opportunity to have 2 sinks in your kitchen, highly recommend. I use both sinks just countless numbers of times throughout the day. But over here on this side of the kitchen is my dishwasher. So you know, you've heard the saying, you should have your dishes closest to the dishwasher. So this is actually where we have all of our glasses, stemware, every kind of drinkware except for coffee stuff, which is in a separate place, is right here. So when I'm unloading the dishwasher, it is so simple for me to just open up this cabinet, glasses right up here, because who wants to be picking up glasses and taking them to the other side of the kitchen? So you want to have your glassware and your dishes as close to the dishwasher as possible. In the island here where my camera is actually sitting is where I have my silverware. So I can open up the dishwasher and just take everything directly from right here, the silverware, into this top drawer and just stack it right in. So I don't have to step, I don't have to go anywhere, just boom, boom, boom. It's super easy. So here's a better look at this side of the kitchen. So glassware is here, dishwasher here. This is where I put things that I hand wash, you know, after I've made dinner, and I put them up here to dry, things that never go in the dishwasher. Underneath my sink is all of my cleaning supplies and products, trash bags, because our trash can is right over there. It's inside a cabinet. So everything I need to clean my kitchen is under the sink. When we redid our kitchen, I put the sliding trash can inside the cabinetry, and it is so handy. We actually have 2 trash cans. One is for trash, one is for paper products. So when it's time to take the trash out, it's really easy to just gather everything up and take it outside. And then here, as close to the dishwasher as I could get, is all of my dishware. Plates, bowls, salad bowls, pasta bowls, everything is in this cabinet. So when I'm putting the dishes away, this is super handy. When I'm cooking and I want to get dishes out, you know, to put everything on the plate, this is a great place to have everything that I use. I love my dishware set because look at this little texture here that's on all of the pieces. So this is a soup bowl or salad bowl, cereal bowl, whatever you want to call that. It comes with a dinner plate and a salad plate, and the set comes with a place setting for 4 people, and it does come with a coffee mug as well. And so I actually have 2 sets of this dishware, so I have 8 of every single piece. So when I have family and friends over for dinner in the holidays, I have plenty of dinnerware. Then I have pasta bowls that are from a different set, but they're the sort of same idea. And these are just a different shaped salad bowl. And then I have ice cream bowls. These are my favorite little cutie patootie ice cream bowls that I eat out of all the time. So I really do recommend just solid white dishware. It goes with everything. It makes your food the most important thing instead of the dishware kind of overpowering the food. It's available on Amazon. This set really honestly was pretty inexpensive, and it stacks up so well. That's one of the reasons I love it. Then we start getting into a couple random cabinets, and this truly is a random cabinet. This is where I keep mixing bowls and those little nesting bowls where you do flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. It's a little bit random up here, but I do keep all of the different heads that go to my KitchenAid stand mixer, an extra bowl for that. There's some serving platters, and up at the very top is Christmas stuff, things I only get out at the holidays, so it takes up its own shelf. So when it comes to cookware and bowl sets, I love nesting bowls, and these are my favorite. They are from Good Grips, and they just sit right in together, take up less space, and these are my favorites because of the stainless steel inside, and they truly have a round bottom. A lot of bowls, even though they're a bowl, have a square bottom, and you cannot mix in them well. It drives me bonkers. I don't know why people make bowls like that, but these are really good. They have this non-skid bottom, and they just nest right together, so they take up just a teeny bit of space, and I can just grab them all down and do what I need. So one side note, everything in this video that I'm showing you, if you see something you like and you think I would love to have that in my kitchen, I will link everything down in the description box so that you can easily find it and go to Amazon and shop it for yourself. And this cabinet is what I cook with. So when I'm cooking, I always need to have my hands on these things. So both cabinets on either side of the stove are strictly for cooking supplies. So this is kind of my dry goods. I've got my sugar, my flour, my brown sugar, my bread flour, all of those things in these great canisters. These come as a set, and I believe you get 5 different canisters in the set, so each canister is designated for a specific thing. So this is my brown sugar canister. There's a little terracotta ring in the top that keeps my brown sugar moist. The flour canisters have like a scraper system in them, so when you have your measuring cup, you can kind of level it off right there. These are fantastic. They're airtight, and they even have labels that come with them so that you can label your canisters however you want to. I actually have 2 sets of these canisters because I just found them so handy. So I use them for cornmeal and baking soda and bread flour because we make homemade pizza dough. So that's why I have so many of them up in my cabinet. Then some other things that I cook with, I do keep in the cabinet, like my rice and mac and cheese and pasta and breadcrumbs. Again, this is just dry goods, chocolate chips, baking goods, all those type of things. And this corner is one of my favorites in my whole kitchen because it holds my KitchenAid stand mixer. She's a beauty. My wood cutting board that I use every time that I cook, I actually leave it out on the countertop. It stays right here. This is my knife block with all of my knives. They're handy. I don't have to get in a drawer. I'm not going to cut myself. I can see everything right there. And then my wooden utensil set. I love that it's in a big decorative canister. Again, I don't have to get in a drawer. I can just reach right here, get whatever I need. I made soup last night, so this was my ladle. And this set came with a wood spoon rest. So everything matches, and it's just super handy and right here at my fingertips. So I love a really good looking hand towel in my kitchen because I keep it hanging out on the stove. It's always out on display, but it's got to be a really good hand towel because I dry my hands on it 100 times a day. And I don't keep my extra towels in the drawers right here. It just takes up too much space. So I like to keep my hand towels folded and down in a little drawer so I can reach right in and get the one that I need. And my favorite hand towel set is a mixture of several of these. They come in a set and they're really great. So I just grab what I need and hang it up for the day. So that's half the kitchen. So before we cross over to the other side of the stove, I want to talk about my kitchen island and the drawers that I have in the island and why I keep certain things there and not inside the kitchen itself. So here's the kitchen island, and it just kind of sits out in the middle of the room, and I always keep napkins and salt and pepper on the kitchen island because we sit right here and eat, and I don't want to have to get up every time somebody needs something. So it just sits right there. It's the most convenient place for it. But in the island itself, I have 3 drawers and 1 cabinet. The top drawer, of course, is silverware. So the silverware is here, number 1, because that's the dishwasher, so it's easy to put away. And number 2, this is where we're eating, so I can easily get out the silverware for everybody who's eating over here. Inside of the drawers, I have got to be organized. So these are bamboo drawer organizers that keep everything so easy to see. I have had these for years and years and years. Absolutely love them. And they are adjustable, so you can slide them open and closed to be as big or small as you need them to be. And they do come in different colors now. I just have the natural bamboo, but you can get them in white or black. So I keep all of my silverware individualized here. These are serving pieces. These are stainless steel steak knives that we just kind of let rumble around in there. And this is random knives. Like this is Randy's barbecue meat knife that I don't want in our butcher block. So they kind of have their own little section over there. In the next drawer is my glassware, my storage containers, and these are all the same. I cannot stand it when a drawer is full of random things. These are glass and they have a snap-on airtight lid, and they come in a set, and in the set you get large, square, a rectangle, there's round, and in that Pyrex set there was a really small size, and I swear I had like 3 or 4 of them that have somehow all just disappeared. I think people come over and take little things home and then I never get them back. But the set is really great. They wash up great. They go in the dishwasher. And I like that I can open my drawer when I need a storage container. Everything is right there. It is the same. I don't have to go rummaging around. They stack up really nice and they're dishwasher safe. So the bottom drawer, I do not take possession of this. This is my husband's drawer, and you are going to see what I'm talking about. This is his outdoor grilling drawer. He just throws stuff in here, but you know what? I don't use any of this stuff, so I just let him have his drawer. And this little door right here is for baking sheets, bakeware, cooling racks, all of those things. So let's get into the refrigerator. So my fridge is half and half disorganized and half organized. I'll show you what I mean. So when you open up the fridge, there are some categories. I've got sauces and condiments on one side of the door. The other side is hot sauces and salad dressings. So there is some organization to that. I keep my butter and my garlic butter up here in this little canister that I can keep closed. And then I have some things in my refrigerator that help me stay organized. Instead of keeping my eggs in the little container that they come in at the grocery, I actually just bought these yesterday. I hate dealing with this top container. It just always feels so flimsy, like I'm just going to drop it. So I will put my eggs in this acrylic container. It holds more than what that little container of eggs gives you. So you have plenty of room for your eggs. It does have a lid. I can pick it up. It's sturdy. I'm not going to drop it. And when I put it in the fridge, I can actually set something on top of it. So it is a space saver as well. Also in my refrigerator, I have a Lazy Susan. So all of my jars of things that I don't use all the time, but I need them, I don't want them taking up space on the door, and I want to be able to scroll through here and find what I need. This Lazy Susan comes in so handy. I also have a couple of acrylic tubs that I keep my yogurt. So normally this is full. I finished a tub this morning, but this is great because I can slide it out. I can look through my flavors. I can put it back in, and it lets me stack things up and take up less space. Otherwise, for me, it's drinks on top, butter, sour cream, all that type of thing. These are just random extras. Fruit I always put in a little dish so that it's open and doesn't get moldy. And then I have vegetables, cheese, and a meat drawer. And beside the fridge, we do have a little pantry here, and this is for bread, snacks, and chips. That's all it's good for. So we keep bread up top. I have chips here, and I have a little bucket in here that we keep full of chip clips. So if there's chips, they're always clipped. My husband cannot stand if a bag is not chip clipped shut, and honestly, I can't either, and I hate digging around the house for chip clips, so we just keep them in a little container. One of the shelves is for random sweets like crackers, donuts, you know, all those random things that you shouldn't eat, but you do anyway. And down in the bottom, I have one shelf for cereals, then the bottom shelf is for nuts and specialty crackers and popcorn and ice cream cones. Right, Lola? This little pantry is a kind of a full-size closet that is just right around the corner from the kitchen, kind of in the hallway. And recently, I got these bamboo shelf covers because they're just wire shelves underneath here that were put in by the builder. Oh my gosh, hated them for years. Got these bamboo shelf covers. They just drop right on top of the wire shelves, and this is a game changer. So I did a little reorganization of some of my kitchen cabinets and brought out the bigger appliances and things that took up so much room in the kitchen. They're things I use all the time, but I don't need them at my fingertips. So they're in the pantry here. So I've got my electric skillet, my crock pot, my coffee grinder, my hand mixer, the toaster. This is my nesting salad bowl set, some paper towels and napkins, and my husband keeps his lunchbox in here and all of these things. The dogs have gathered around because this is where I keep their dog food, and they think they're going to get something. Right, y'all? You think you're going to get something because Mom opened the cabinet? But I keep distilled water in here, their dog food, pizza boxes for summertime, and on the door I just have little racks. My husband will take plastic silverware in his lunchbox. I keep extra Reynolds wrap and stuff like that just on the door so it's out of the way. Okay, I see ya. Y'all are cute. Let me close the pantry door and I'll get you a treat. So right here on the countertop, this is where the dog's treats have always been, and they know it. So let me get these little cuties a treat. Okay, Missy Prissy, there's one for Lola. Here's one for the Maxer, and here's one for Pollux. Do y'all want to show them where we keep the dog food? You want to show them? You want to show them? So right here underneath the vegetable sink, because this is where I prepare their food, so their dog food is here. So I've got their dog bowls. This is their omega-3 salmon oil that goes on their food. I keep their kibble in a smaller container here, and cans of wet food that they get with dinner are just stacked up in the back there. Now, I don't want y'all to yell at me, but this is where I keep my potatoes and my onions in this basket together. I've done it for 25 years and I've never had an issue. I just like them there. So that is where they stay. So I guess that brings us over to this side of the kitchen, the other side of the stove. So in the cabinet over the vegetable sink, I have corningware, servingware, little decorative bowls that I use for certain occasions, casserole dishes, they're all up here. I like to keep a bowl on my countertop with lemons and limes or any fruits or vegetables that don't go in the refrigerator. They're always out. And then I have my coffee station. So I've got my Keurig, and in the cabinet right above the Keurig is everything I need to make my coffee in the morning. My coffee cups, my reusable K-cup pods. My coffee is actually up here, both canisters, one with the coffee grounds, one with the coffee beans, my little gold coffee spoon that makes me so happy every morning. These are the two coffee mugs that I drink out of on most days now. I recently redid my coffee mug situation. My daughter gave me a set for Christmas. My husband also gave me a set for Christmas. And then I kept some of the specialty mugs that had a meaning, a very special meaning. I kept those, but I'm really enjoying drinking out of a set coffee mug every morning. It actually takes away the stress in the morning. I don't have to pick out a coffee mug, so I go back and forth. White mug, green mug, white mug, green mug. My husband also keeps his cocktail things up here, his bitters and his cocktail shaker and some other things. So let's get into these drawers because these are where all the goodies are. So the top drawer is always super organized. I have two sets of those bamboo drawer organizers in here, and you can see this one is expanded all the way where this one's a little bit smaller, but it's the same organizer, so I can customize it, which I did to fit my drawers. So I like to be able to open this drawer and see everything that's inside. So my thinking is these are random things, but I use them all the time. My can openers, my peelers, my scissors, my silicone spoons, big ones because I have plenty of little ones. I have tongs, which by the way, I just got 2 new pair of tongs. Good Grips makes the best tongs. Whisks and measuring spoons and measuring cups and all of the things. But when I open the drawer, I can see everything that I need. My second and third drawer is pots and pans. And I got this green pan set of pots and pans about a year ago, and I'm telling you, these are the bomb. So I have all of my skillets stacked up, and the set does come with these little kind of padded felty type things so that you can stack your cookware, which is fantastic. My covered skillets, this is my husband's omelet pan. He keeps it turned over so that I know I cannot use it for anything but an omelet. All of our cast iron stuff is there. And then the bottom drawer is pots. I love having my pots and pans in a drawer. I can open them. I can easily access what I need. And then boom, they're out of the way. And next to that is my Lazy Susan. So really, this is just canned goods. And Chick-fil-A sauces, right? You got to keep those. When you come home with Chick-fil-A and you've got an extra sauce, you keep it. But it's just all of the canned goods, some sauces, tomato products, green beans, and then I do have one of these acrylic can things. You can use these for sodas. I keep my tomato products in here because they're easy for me to see. I have another little cabinet here, which is small baking sheets and muffin pans. And above it is where I keep my pot holders. So my pot holders are right next to the stove. I can always grab them. I don't have to run across the kitchen and get them. So I've got my towel and my pot holders always within arm's reach when I'm cooking. So just like this cabinet was dry cooking goods, this cabinet is oils and sauces and spices. So I have my most used spices here on the countertop. I have this glass spice jar set that I filled up with the spices that I use the most. So they're always on the counter. I can get them easily. And this set came with, I think, 30 or 36 bottles. You can put the labels on them. There's a label for every spice you could ever think of. And so I have these actually sitting out. The actual spice rack itself I've had for so many years. It came from Williams-Sonoma, no longer available, but I just have it setting on the countertop with all of my spice jars. So everything is here beside the stove. So when I'm cooking, I just grab what I need. This is my salt cellar right there and my electric pepper grinder. I do have some basil salt in here and this cute little dish that I got in Puerto Vallarta, and I make my own basil salt at the end of the year when basil's in abundance and I want to save it. So that stays there. This is my olive oil, and we have an old school pepper mill. But in the cabinet above that is all of the spices that I do use, just not as often as the ones on the spice rack. This is also where we keep, cornstarch and baking soda and baking powder and backup things and oils and olive oils and vinegars and balsamic vinegars and all of that type stuff is right here in this one column. So next to that is sort of one of those random cabinets. Everything does have a purpose, but it just is a little bit random. So the first shelf is all of these insulated beverage tumblers. This is the size I use. My husband uses the bigger size, so that's all that is. And then I keep measuring cups, and normally my salad spinner is up there and some random things, and some extras up top. And we cannot forget to mention my beautiful cake stand. Oh, I love my cake stand. My husband gave this to me as a gift when we first got married 24 years ago. And she has her own little corner. Today she has some lemon bread, but I just love having that on display. I love to have some goodies in it and some pastries, and it takes up one corner there of my kitchen. And over the microwave are my cookbooks and more cookbooks. So y'all, I love a cookbook. Absolutely adore a cookbook. And these are my two cookbooks that I have my handwritten recipes in, and they are completely filled up. So I got this new, bigger hardback cookbook, and this gives me full pages that I can write on front and back. And honestly, it is so much better than the little cookbooks where you have to write on recipe cards. I can never get a recipe to fit on a recipe card, so I love this book. And I keep it on the top shelf with the rest of my cookbooks. And last but not least, over here with the dog treats and the kitchen towels are three sort of random little drawers. Like everybody has that one junk drawer in their kitchen. Well, we have that in this top drawer. This is where I keep my grocery list, another notepad, some chapstick, a calculator. My husband thinks that this is the place to throw every paper, all the mail, and it drives me bonkers, but it doesn't matter how hard I try to keep this drawer cleaned out, it just never happens. But everybody knows this is where the grocery list lives, in that drawer. If my husband needs something at the grocery, he better be writing it on the grocery list. So this is a two-part list that I just think is so genius. So part one is your meals for the week. This is what keeps me super organized. So I decide what I'm going to cook this week, and then I write out all of the ingredients, and it's perforated. So I tear off the grocery list. It goes to the store with me, but what I'm cooking that week stays here, so I can refer back to this. My husband can look and see what we're going to cook. This little notepad has been a game changer, because before I was just using any old sheet of paper. Love this little notepad, and it's always in the top drawer. The second drawer, I don't know what you even call this. It is our little knife where I open packages. It's magnets. It's my razor set. Why? I don't know. It's where I keep a charging cable for most everything. This is what I call the junk drawer. My husband calls it the necessity drawer. Fine, I'll let him have that. And the third drawer down is where I keep my aprons. I have an assortment of aprons, and when I'm going to cook something that I know is going to make a mess, I do actually grab an apron, and that's where they live. I'll give you a little tip about aprons. HomeGoods has the best aprons. You can go in their store at almost any time and find some really good aprons. That's where I got this one. And I love an apron that has strings long enough that I can wrap it around and bring it back to the front and tie it. HomeGoods, if you're on the hunt for a good apron. So that's my kitchen organization. That's why and how I have my kitchen laid out the way that I do, why I have and use the things that I do. Those reasons are why I love to cook. I love a clean, organized kitchen, a thoughtful kitchen. So that's how I keep my home. Now, what is part two of this organization series going to be about? Well, another viewer asked me to show her how to be organized when it comes to paperwork, keeping track of all of those receipts and things you need when it's tax time, and documents. She said that she puts things in a drawer or she leaves it on a table and she can never find it. There's zero organization, and I am going to help you out. I'm going to answer her questions. I was a bookkeeper in my corporate job for 23 years, so I know paperwork and organization. And the joke around our office used to be that anybody could ask me for anything, and it could be 10 years old, and I would say hold, and I could go right to it and tell you where it was. Paperwork and organization is not difficult, I promise. It really is super simple. You just have to have a few fundamental things, and I'll show you exactly how to be organized year by year and find anything you're looking for at the tip of your fingers. That'll be in the next video. See you later.